What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Mr. Dropping Dimes, and this is the Hope for Romantic M.A.N podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you all tonight. Again, I am the Hope for Romantic, aka the feminist with chauvinist tendencies, and I have a great show, man. I'm really excited about this show because it's. I always talk about male vulnerability, and I always talking about being able to share and go to people and talk to them um, about what you're really going through. You know what I mean? And some of us, we've been in some dark places, and there's nothing worse than not having somewhere to go or somebody to talk to, and suffering in silence. And right now, especially in America, there's this movement. Sometimes you'll see stuff about the pussification of America, and you'll hear about, oh, the problem with America is these kids are so, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? I always laugh because the same people that say that will look at somebody in the face and say, "Hey, man, why didn't you come to me when you were suffering?" I'm like, "I would, but you basically think I'm a pussy if I do, because look what you posted all through social media. Look what you say. Look how you talk. How am I going to come to you?" You know what I mean? Well, I've decided that in my life, I want to be a safe space for people. And I want to be a person that you can come to, you can talk to, whether you're going through it, whether you're having a hard time. And I'm going to give you a non-judgmental ear, and I'm going to listen. And to me, it has nothing to do with feminine energy or masculine energy. It has nothing to do with being tough, soft, none of that. If you need me, I will be there for you to listen. You know. And on that note, I um I also watch people on the internet, man. Watch how they move. And believe me, I know the internet is not real. I know a lot of what you see is bullshit. But every now and then somebody catches your eye and you see something positive coming from them, like a ray of light, and you want to find out more. And I'm really, really, really glad I did, because I was paying attention to somebody and I watched them kind of like on a journey. That's what it felt like. I felt like I watched them at the beginning of a journey. Like it had just clicked to them that their life had value. It had just clicked to them that mentally, financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, that there was another level. And I watched them say, you know what? I'm choosing to get to that other level. And it inspired me. And it's funny because I've also talked to other people on the internet, like friends of mine, that are also follow this person. And they're like, yo, do you see that? Yeah, he's punching the bag and he's doing these things. And it's kind of like we have a little community that follows him now, because we all have like we're all invested in his success. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about a really unique human being, man. He's military veteran. He's a guy from my hometown, North Bergen, New Jersey. He's a guy on a journey. He's a guy that's really pushing hard to be a better version of himself. He's somebody that I want to highlight because this is the kind of person that I want to have around me. I want to have people that are working to be better, are open to being vulnerable, because they know that their vulnerability can be a testimony for the next man. The person I'm talking to is my guy from my hometown, man. His name is Mr. Lozado. Mr. Lozado is in the building. What's up, Eric? What's the deal, my brother? How are you, my man?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up, bro.
Thumbs up, man. God bless.
No doubt, man. Yo, man, listen, bro. I told you this when I spoke to you. I'm like, there was something about the way you were moving. And it's funny because I can, it's like AD, and what is this, like before Christ, after Christ kind of thing. I saw you before, and I remember a while back looking at you and saying, yo, something's up with him, man. I hope he's okay. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder if he's all right, man. Like, I don't know. There was something off. Like, I wonder if he's okay. And then I started to watch you, and I started to see like this little evolution. And I started to see you moving more.
Roger.
And it felt like, oh, he's flipped the switch. And I that's why I reached out to you, and I was like, yo, man, I see you, bro. I see you. Keep hustling, keep moving. And as somebody who also battles with health and battles with, the weight thing, trying to make sure that I stay at a decent weight, stay in shape, try to like, you know what I mean? It's a battle for me every day. I respect it, man. I saw it and I was like, yo, this is a guy we got to cheer on. This is a guy we got to have his back, man. We got to make sure that, he knows that, you're inspiring a lot of people, man. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm telling you like this because uh,
Thank you.
it's a conversation that I have with people. Like, oh, yo, you saw this dude? It's not like we're following like cheerleaders. More so
Yeah,
like, hey, yo, you saw him? Yeah, he's working out, bro. You saw that?
yeah,
He's back. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I saw that. Then I just in passing conversation. But the more I would do it, the more I would realize more and more people noticed. You know what I'm saying? And I don't
Roger.
know if you noticed now when you post, maybe before one or two people would comment or say something. Now you're getting more like a couple of people like it, more people liking it, more
Yeah,
people commenting. Like, yo, keep going, bro. You're doing it. And a lot of what people are saying is, keep going. You're doing it. I'm watching.
yeah.
You're inspiring me. You know what I mean? So
Cool.
just for the people, bro. Um, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Who are you? Who is Eric? Who's made you? What's made you who you are? And what brought you to this point?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your podcast. I appreciate that. It means the world to me. I'm humbled. I'm honored, and it's freaking awesome, man. Get to talk to more people about my struggle and let them know that they're not alone. And also, you know, um, that I guess what you're asking is a difficult question. It's a difficult question at times, but it's easy as well, to answer. Um, you know, because I know a lot of people have, you know, go have really don't know who they are sometimes, and when you have to face yourself as much as I have in my life, you get to learn a lot about yourself. So, I mean, I answered the questions that you gave me. I'm just gonna, I guess, read if that's okay with you, the
No, go
responses.
right ahead. However you want to do this, bro. The world is yours, man. I just want to highlight you, and I want people
I
to
appreciate that. I mean, I'm
listen to somebody who, openly talks about mental health, openly
yeah.
talks
We
the
could
things
talk
that you've
about
been
that.
through,
Yeah,
and somebody who's actively in the journey of working on himself. You know what I'm
word,
saying?
word.
Somebody that's in the middle of it. Like a lot of times people don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, man. They
Roger
don't
that.
see it. So they sit there and they think that they're all alone and they're
Mm,
the only ones going through it and the only ones struggling and that nobody's gonna understand and maybe nobody will care if I disappear.
if
Nobody will
people,
care if I
if,
leave. And
if
the truth is that you're living proof that there's people that you didn't even know were watching. There's
that's
people
just
that
it.
you didn't even know cared. That didn't
That's
even
just
know had an interest in your life.
that's
You know
just
what I'm
it,
saying?
man. And
Okay, he went away for a little bit, maybe the connection. But yeah, like too often you sit there and you're like, nah, nobody's paying attention. Yo, there's a perfect stranger out there, right? That's sitting there watching you move. And you're inspiring them because they're looking at you and they're complaining because their back hurts and they can't really walk. And then they're looking at somebody with no legs and how the person with no legs gets through life and is happy. And they're like, damn, that's an inspiration. You know what I'm saying? And we got a guy like Eric who's he's been through it, man. He's been through it. He has a really interesting story. And I get it, man. I get it. He could choose to be very complacent and sit there. And I'm sure that at some point in his life he was. I'm sure that at some point in his life he was on the verge of giving up and just sat there and was like, I'm gonna eat and I'm just gonna get in weight and I'm not gonna care. But then to see him overcome that and decide to give a shit about himself, to really care. That's where the inspiration lies. That's where the inspiration lies. He's back. Okay, Eric, go ahead, man.
yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened,
No,
man.
it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's just par for the course with these things, man.
Yeah,
They come in, you'll come in, you
where,
come.
where did I leave off at?
No, you were just telling us how we were talking about who are you, where did this come from, and you were basically just telling me how some of the origin story of who you are, and maybe where some of the like we were talking about mental health, where some of that kind of took off, and how you
Yeah.
got where you are today.
All right. So first off, I'm a broken man. I admit
Mhm.
that. I'm a person that's broken. I'm a person that lives with a lot of sadness,
Hmm.
a lot of despair, a lot of loneliness, and it's a difficult journey. But the one thing I do have is a relationship with the higher power, and his name is Jesus Christ. So throughout all these years and all the struggles and all the different scenarios where life hits you, full frontal, and you have to put yourself in fifth gear. I've always had to rely on God, because people fail you. Most of the times, pretty much every human being that I put my trust in or loved is nowhere to be found. Or eventually disperse or make excuses, or give rational
So
reasons.
it's safe to say that you're very familiar and have firsthand knowledge of the flawed people, the flaws in humans. The humans are flawed. You know what I'm saying? You understand that you know what you're dealing with imperfect people, man, and
Of
they make
course,
mistakes.
because I'm one of them. I'm one of
Right.
those people. It's just, I just find it amazing that when you're down, is when you people are supposed to give you a hand and lift you up. I mean, these are the things that I was taught. I
Right.
mean, you know, not for nothing, but as a guy that was in the military, you know, that would have never happened. But as soon as I came back home to become a civilian, it doesn't even matter whether it's a regular civilian folk or church folk. You know, it don't matter. If anything, sometimes I hate to say this, church folk are worse than regular folk. Because you put more stock in them.
Hmm.
And they end up hurting you the most, or
Disappointing you.
disturbing you the most.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. You talk about being a broken human being, and you talk about having been through a lot, and we're obviously I always say how I am very limited on what I'm going to talk about as far as your mental health, because I'm not an expert to take you down that road.
Roger.
What I mean? I'm more so uh interested in the journey that you're on right now, and the healing, and the way I see you evolving as a man. you know um
Thank you.
where I talk a lot about vulnerability and being open, right? And where do you feel? You know what? Let me backtrack, because I want to make sure that we take the audience on the right path to this. Like I said, I want to stay on your healing journey. When did the turn happen? When did the turn happen? When did you flip from the guy that was, that just completely disappointed and down, to a person that decided I want to live, and I want to have a healthy lifestyle.
Well, first of all, I've always wanted to live. It's just
Yeah.
that I have demons. As we
Hmm.
as we all do, and particularly in my case, what what really played a role in my demise was, you know, number one, alcohol, right? And number two, um, I had a knee injury that put me out of commission for like 2.5 years. I couldn't do shit.
Hmm.
I mean, literally, like I was in a recliner. Like I'm not gonna say bedridden, but I was recliner ridden. And going to doctors not doing nothing. Really can't do nothing, because it's not something that's surgical.
Hmm.
So you know or whatever reasons, but I was in I was hurting, man, for a long time. And of course, in the process of hurting, and being alone, and then dealing with depression, dealing with post-traumatic stress, and loneliness and everything else that came at me, being alone in the middle of nowhere, in a small town where, in a racist town too as well. It's like, uh, you know, I, food, I mean, food became comfort food. I love food. I ate as much as I could whenever I wanted, however much I wanted, but and on top of that, I wasn't moving. So I got fatter and fatter and fatter until I was able to move again. And do my own little physical therapy at my little piece of shit treadmill at home, until I was able to walk distances, short distances of, eventually to became long distances again. And a
Mhm.
lot of times I always revert to, my training, all the training mentally. For years I used to be a jogger. Anybody will tell you back home, I walked everywhere and I jogged. I did for a long time. I was always in shape. But I just, you know, I you know, not being able to to take showers, what safely, so many reasons, the feeling of death, man, like the the weight, man, and also and of course being just like, you know disgusted, I was ashamed of myself,
Mhm.
looking in the mirror, looking, ashamed. You get so ashamed, and you don't even want to go outside. You don't want to be seen. Mind you, that it's not like, back home. I'm not back home where I know tons of people. I can, that probably would have motivated me not to get as fat. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because this place can do that to you too. By the way, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
there's nothing out here, there's nothing, plus I ain't working, because I'm on disability. So, like the purpose was that I had, what little purpose I had is gone, it just, and I wasn't helping myself, either.
Mhm.
My alcohol intake, became greater, of course. And then I started to realize that was causing me problems on top of the food intake. But that's always been the issue throughout my whole life, was we went, from alcohol to drugs. The drugs are eliminated, but then,
Mhm.
the alcohol became a, a you
Mhm.
know a permanent fixture in my life, which
Mhm.
caused me, problems. Not, terrible problems, but, like,
Right. It wasn't serving a purpose. It wasn't serving
it
any
was,
purpose.
yeah, it was killing me. I mean, you could literally feel yourself getting killed, being poisoned. You know what I'm saying? By the shit.
Mhm.
Because, I didn't drink every day, but when I drank, man, boy, I just didn't stop. And it's the same attitude I have with anything. I have that addictive behavior. With working out. Once I get addicted to it, it's over.
Mhm.
Once I get addicted to eating healthy, it's over. Once I make a decision to quit something, it's over. I
Yeah.
just, and on top of that, like I said, I can't do this alone. I don't do it alone.
Mhm.
Throughout this whole struggle, throughout my whole life, every struggle, every journey that I go through, like I said, I've always had to rely on God. I mean, to find comfort, to be able to talk to, because at the end of the day, there's no one really to that you can confess to and speak to as freely as you do to God. And get that healing or that comfort or whatever it is that you need, that spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, you know and, and that's always been the case, man. Shoot, man, from 13 years old till today, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I mean, I could tell you stories, man. Plenty of
I
testimony,
gotta
but
appreciate you, man. What makes Ruben smile today? What makes you smile today?
why do I mean, music. I mean, I could say,
Yeah.
you
Where do
know
you draw inspiration now to move on to fight another day? Where do you find the inspiration to fight another day to work out one more time to get on that treadmill? Where do you find your inspiration?
well, I mean, let's be real, man. You want to live as long as you want, as you can, man. And I mean, that's what it comes down to. I just want to get healthier. I want to feel. I guess what I understand the question now.
Hmm.
What I'm trying to do is revert backwards, right? To a
Reverse engineer, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to a place where I was at one point in my life, physically. I mean, I mean, I wasn't always well, emotionally, psychologically, but the physical aspect of it, the body, the always alleviated a lot of that problem. Whether it be insecurities or sadness. You when you do something productive physically, it's gonna release chemicals in your brain, as we all know. And
Hmm.
it's just, I mean, I mean, the only problem with that is that the results don't come immediately.
Right. It takes time. Yeah.
And I'm at the age, I'm turning 47 this month, and I'm at an age, and with all the damage that I've done to my, all the partying I did. I mean, regardless of me being in shape all those years, I mean, let's get real, man. I did a lot of shit that I shouldn't have done, and I mean, and it comes back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
And later on, and so praise God that's not a problem or an issue anymore. But my body is working against me, and that's one of the things, that I'm realizing at this age, and at this stage of my life,
Hmm.
that there's things that are happening physically that are working against me. Mentally, I got this, but
Hmm.
physically it's a whole different story, which is why I make the posts that I do, and
Hmm.
pay, and because it helps me. I mean, I'm walking outside all alone, for an hour, and I'm feeling open, I'm feeling, encouraged, and then, and I know there's someone out there that's going through this or even worse, man.
Yeah. You're
And
absolutely
and
right.
after I'm done making that video, not knowing how I'm gonna tweak it or fix it later, I just feel better, for it's like, well,
Mhm.
I feel like I did something right, man. And that's another thing when it comes down to you.
A
I just,
positive energy out into the world. Absolutely.
yeah, I just want to do things
Energy is
right.
everything.
I just want to do things right, man. I'm tired of making mistakes. I'm tired of failing or disappointing people, disappointing myself, or
Hmm.
being angry at myself, hating myself.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Say what?
You're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Eh, as they say in the rooms, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, man. It's not only that. It's just, as much as a worse place that I am, I'm also in a better place. So
Hmm.
it's like an oxymoron in a sense. In some aspects of my life, I'm in a total better place
Yeah.
compared to 10, 12 years ago. But in another aspect of my life, I'm I'm in a worse place than I was 10, 12 years ago. And it's crazy. It's just, everything sometimes is backwards to me. It's like,
What's
you
the
know,
hardest part of the journey to rediscover yourself?
just, taking personal inventory, brother. Being true to yourself. Having to, you know, accept responsibility
Mm.
for your actions, for everything that you have done, that you're trying to do, all the mistakes that you made, all the bad decisions, the constant barrage of guilt, and,
Hmm.
and and conviction, conviction, man. Just years. That's what happens when you have so much solitude and time to yourself. All you have is time to think and remember,
Hmm.
especially when you're drug free, and
Right.
and all the all, stuff starts to come back. And being that, I do deal with depression and I have PTSD. Sometimes I just can't help what my brain does
Right.
or
Where it goes.
pops up in it. I have no control of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a dream. You have no control of what your dream state is when you go to sleep.
Mhm.
And then I mean, you can in a sense wake yourself up from it, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
You understand
it can take
what
you. Yeah,
kind of dimes I'm trying to drop, right?
yeah, exactly.
I
So
hope
what?
that answered your question,
No,
brother.
absolutely, absolutely. You're doing fantastic, man. What is the
Thank you.
goal? Physical, mental, emotional. If you could tell me if in 5 years from now I'm talking to Ruben, and I'm like, hey man, what's the goal, brother?
The
Tell me,
goal,
yeah,
the
tell me
goal.
where do you want to be mentally, emotionally, spiritually?
Oh man, that's a good question, I mean, that's a deep question, of course, for everybody. Everybody's different and everybody's story is different.
Hmm.
So for me personally, obviously I want to be, I have short-term goals, I want to drop from, I started at 419. I'm at that, I'm stuck at this 370 plateau, but I'm
Right.
built but I'm building muscle. I know I've lost more than 50 pounds, but it's just that since I'm building muscle, it just keeps showing 370, 370. But eventually that'll break. That's my goal, is to at least reach the 300 and then take it from there. Mentally, the one thing I have not been doing is seeking counsel, like going
Hmm.
through any professionals. I should have been doing that for a long time, and I haven't, because
Well,
I
that's
don't
the piece
trust.
of the puzzle. It's okay. Like you said, man, it's everything in its time. That's maybe the next step and the next piece to your puzzle. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's the next,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
next thing that you got to
that
go
is
through.
that is in the works, but like I said, my biggest problem is I don't trust nobody. Especially like I said, especially this community here.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna get into discuss much of that, but and I've had some bad experiences, man, when it comes to dealing with the psychiatrist, psychologist. When I first embarked on this journey of asking for help, my whole life got turned upside down, man. You
Hmm.
know, I mean, I ended up homeless because of it, man. You know what I'm saying? And that was a very traumatizing experience, man. For the period of time I was you
Hmm.
know, and um, and I didn't deserve that at all, man. I mean, it's not like I got fired or that I wanted to stop working, but
Hmm.
that the way that everything happened, and it just, that's in the past. Today's today. So I'm trying to take different avenues and try different things because I'm trying to make changes. And there I have some people that are advising me and giving me, pointing me in the right direction, as they say. And my hope is to I guess, um, you know, like, how you go to church, and you have people that's they have like miracles happen for them. That's like, you know they're like, this miraculous thing will happen,
Hmm.
as far as like trauma or something, where they're like completely free of it. And that I'm looking for my miracle, basically. My
Hmm.
you know my brother's is I'm trying to work on creating a miracle for myself before it's too late, before life ends. I'm trying to have what mostly everybody I see around me have, which is love. I just want to be loved just like anybody else, man. I just want a healthy relationship, with a woman, just like any other man, and as far as having kids, that's too late for me, obviously. But
No, no, it's not. But listen. Let's slow down because I think that you're on the right path because in order for you said something that really resonates. You said you want to love, you want to be loved,
yeah, man, like that's
and
the worst feeling in the world, dog. It's
this
like,
is this is
people
step one.
just people
Step
just don't
one.
get it, man. Like, you know what it is to not know. Like, I don't know what it feels like to be loved, man. I
Well,
truly can't say that, man.
you're
I,
on you're,
I I mean, I truly can say that. Like, I don't know
you're on the
what.
journey though. You're doing exactly what you need to do to get where you want to go. You
Yeah,
have to become love.
right,
You have to
right.
become love number one. And how do you do that? You become the best version of yourself. You become undeniable. You
Yeah,
keep working till you're the best version of yourself. My father gave me the best advice I ever had after a heartbreak. got my heart torn to pieces, and he goes
Yeah,
to me,
I know that feeling.
he goes, Mike, put your head down and work.
Let's keep
Put your
yourself
head down.
busy.
Put your head down and work. Work on yourself spiritually, emotionally, financially, mentally, physically. One day you're gonna pick your head up, and there she will be. A woman will have been watching you work, falling in love with your process. What did he mean by that? He didn't mean that literally some chick was gonna be paying attention to me. What he meant was the person that I become. Once I become the person I'm meant to be, I'm gonna meet somebody, and when I meet them, they're gonna have been praying for somebody just like me the entire life.
Amen.
Yo,
Amen to those words. That's some
yeah.
power.
And let
That's
me tell you something.
beautiful.
And the thing is this, yo, the universe doesn't know late; it only knows right on time. So your best bet is to continue to work, put your head down, work on yourself, because every step that you take, every ounce of pain you've ever felt, every tear you've ever shed, every muscle ache, every pain in your back, every problem you've ever had, is shaping you and moving you in a direction to where the universe wants you.
Yeah,
And once you get there, the person that is for you will be right there.
the
They've never
universe.
moved. The person that's there for you has never moved. They're there. They're waiting for you to make the moves to get to them. And
It's
you have
hard.
to
It's
figure
hard.
that
It's
out.
hard, man. It's hard to like fathom it sometimes, man. After so many, after so many, so many, years of just, I guess, I mean, I beat myself up a lot. I'm my worst enemy, man. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't like God ain't never blessed me with a good woman, But unfortunately, either I played a role in the demise of the relationship, or or that I just that we just weren't for each other, right? But
Mhm.
but I get what you're saying, and God bless your father for those inspirational and comforting words. It's that's just an example of what I mean of love, of some of the things that are lacking when it comes to uh, uh, getting what that kind of comfort and those words. I mean, that's why I revert back to what I said earlier. I go to
Mhm.
God, man, because that's what I get from Him. The same thing that your father gave you. You know what I'm saying? Only
Mhm.
here on earth, but it's not the same sometimes, man.
If
You
you
feel
could
me?
send a message to anyone going through hard times right now, what would it be?
Uh, Trusting. I mean, first, I'd say rely on God. Look for a relationship with a higher power. Whatever it is. This is America. If you want to pray to Islam, you pray to Islam. I don't care, as long as you find yourself a relationship with God. You know, uh, and rely and know that no matter what you're going through, you know that you can talk to God. You know, God is you could talk to, even if you think God ain't listening. In some form or fashion, He'll manifest Himself in your life. And another thing is just don't be afraid to ask for help. Ask for help. Be a man. Men ask for help. Men are in touch with their emotions. Men cry. Men allow themselves to be you know to be
Vulnerable.
vulnerable. I mean, maybe it's because we're getting older, wiser, and all that good stuff, and life has kicked our asses. But yeah, it's nothing wrong with it. If anything, I feel more of a man now than I did when when I couldn't even cry. I didn't even for me to cry back in the day.
Mhm.
At one point in my life, I didn't even know how. I mean, I tried so hard. I would like get tense, man, because I'd go to church and I just want to cry and yell and scream, and I just couldn't. And
Mhm.
it would cause, like, I was actually harming myself because I was bottling that shit in, and wasn't letting loose that garbage loose, man. And eventually, when I was able to start doing that, that's a healthy. So basically, if you have someone that you can you can talk to, human being that you can that you trust, and you're
Mhm.
going through something, look to them to speak to them. Look to them, ask them, listen, I need you. Sometimes if you got to tell them, I don't want you to talk, I just want you to listen. because I know that they want to be heard too. But just whatever you do, just don't hold it in, man. Tell somebody, talk to somebody, and don't give up, man. Don't fight. Everything's a fucking fight, man. If the best advice I can give you is to anybody is to just to put your hand, keep your thumbs up, number one, and fight, and fight, and whatever it is that you have to fight it.
Hmm.
Only you know what it is that you're fighting, because it's your fight. And if someone can assist you in a portion of that fight that you feel that you're failing or you're
Yeah,
about to lose, then let them help. Let them help.
let them help. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. What do you call it? Walk us through your day. What's your new routine? How do you start your day? What's some of the exercises you're doing? What are you working on?
So, well, you know, first I wake up,
Hmm.
and I determine whether, depending on the day, whether I'm going to go, outside and work out outside, especially that I have my dog, my wonderful, beautiful dog, Gracie. So,
Hmm.
to get her a workout into and get her a nice day, making her happy makes me happy. As we all know, dogs are awesome. But if not, I'll go to the YMCA. And now that I got this new treadmill, praise God, it's
Hmm.
not brand new, but it's new to me,
Yeah, yeah.
and allows me to be more productive at home
Hmm.
than the piece of shit treadmill that I had, which I've
Hmm.
complained about in the past. We all we've all heard. But God is good, and I was able to obtain a treadmill. Shout outs to that family that hooked it up. Not saying no names because want to invade their
You know,
privacy. But and my diet, man, just what I eat, man. Yeah, I mean, I have a cheat day here and there, like Veterans Day, definitely.
but
I had my cheat day.
what's some of the diet tips that you're working on?
So, dude, basically, what I do is just follow. I hate to say it, but I follow what I've learned from bodybuilders, man, like professional bodybuilders, right? As far as proteins go, and what
Hmm.
to, and stuff that I can eat that's delicious. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I do. I buy, like, for example, I buy a 40-pound box of chicken breast, boneless chicken breast, and just store it in the freezer.
Hmm.
Tons of vegetables, different sorts of vegetables, bagged up already, in portions, or large bag, whatever, wherever you go shopping that gives you the best, economic, pricing of what you need,
Hmm.
that's good for you. Got eliminated the sugar, man. That was my biggest. That's where all the weight came from. I mean, all the snacks. Soy cubano. I love bakeries. I love,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love the bakery goods, the cookies, all that good
Oh,
stuff, man.
yeah.
I love to cook too. I had to, start cooking, healthier foods, and eliminate the stuff I was cooking before, the concoctions that I would make. Juicing, I still, I mean, like, I remember, noting in the past and letting people know, like, that's the if I could juice every day, I would. Which is, I have a Bavel juicer.
Hmm.
I've done it in the past, and when I was a lighter weight, and I dropped weight tremendously fast when I wasn't even working out then, like as much as I'm doing today. But it's too expensive. It's just not feasible for me, economically.
Hmm.
So I do what I get that in when I get it in.
Right, you do what you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what else? Oatmeal, like, if you need a treat, you want a late snack oatmeal. There's certain
Hmm.
cereals you can buy now. Magic Spoon is a cereal you can buy that's healthy
Yep.
for you.
Yeah.
Like, if you have, late, another thing I do, if I have a sweet tooth, this is a trick I picked up. I don't know if I made it up myself or a lot of people do it, but I buy sugarless lollipops, or like, organic lollipops, you know.
Hmm.
And so if I have a sweet tooth, I'll have a lollipop, you know what I mean? And gum, you know, like sugarless
Right.
gum,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, but the lollipops, they definitely do the job, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they gotta be sugarless. And if I want to treat myself to some, you know, like sweet, like an ice cream, I'll get the sugarless. It's only 100 calories, you know,
Right.
or
So
the
you
carb
develop a bunch
smart.
of tricks in the trade to try to make sure that you win this battle. You know, you put yourself in a position to win with all these little things as far as your diet is concerned. That makes sense.
Roger, yeah, yeah. I mean, I could go
Mhm.
on for days, you know, a little,
Yeah, it's all good.
you know.
It's all good. Yo, listen, man. I'm not gonna hold you much longer because I just wanted to tell you, bro. You're an inspiration, man. You're an inspiration. I know you feel like you're alone out there.
I don't
And
feel
how
like
you
it,
feel,
but I
but I'm
have to
trying to tell
respond
you,
and say thank you. You know,
there's
thank you.
people
I
out there.
appreciate.
There's people watching you, man. There's people watching. Not everybody. What you got to learn is that not everybody's going
I'm
to
not
comment.
done yet. I'm not done yet, though,
Yeah,
man.
not everybody's going to comment. Not everybody's going to like what you're doing, but they are watching,
Yeah,
paying attention. And maybe in the beginning, when you first start, maybe people doubt out. We'll see. But then, as soon as you start to make that turn, and as soon as you start to like really do it, they're gonna be like, "Oh shit!" And then you'll see. Then when you really see the support come in. I trust me, as somebody who, when I was writing my book, I first started telling people, they were like, "Yeah, whatever, yeah, whatever." And then all of a sudden, when they saw I actually did it, they were like, oh wow, yeah, yeah, yeah." Like all of a sudden, you got all the support.
yeah. But
You
why
know?
is that? Why is it
Well,
like that? You know,
because
why are people so, you know,
a
so
lot of times
fucked up,
people,
man? You know what I'm saying? Like, you
well,
know, I
we
mean,
live in a society where you got to show me, don't tell me, right? And if we're talking the big game and where they don't see us moving, it's hard for them to believe us.
yeah, but
You know what I'm saying? It's not
you
until
know,
you start moving that they're like, oh, okay, he was serious. You
yeah,
know,
but
you got to think about
you
how many conversations we
there
have.
are other factors. You see, that's the thing that you know you got to take into consideration that you know just because a person ain't moving like you think they should be moving, you know that you know you don't know the reasons behind it, the
Oh, I'm not
factors
saying he's
behind
right.
it.
I'm not saying
You
he's
know
right.
what I mean?
I'm telling you
I
why
mean,
it happened.
because it can happen to anybody. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I mean, it's life on life's terms, man. You
Hmm.
know? I mean, look, man. You know, I'm not promised tomorrow. You
No.
know, and and if anybody knows me, knows that everything I do is with good intentions behind it, man. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And I'm not a person that wants to hurt anybody, you know?
Yeah.
And people love to hurt me, you know?
Hmm.
You know, but that's the thing that makes life even more difficult when you have struggles, you know,
Hmm.
is other human beings, man. You know what I'm saying? This
Yeah,
world we
unfortunately,
live
that's
in.
the nature of the beast, man. That's why it's so important to move the way you're moving, to do the things that you're doing, to invest in yourself and make sure that you're the best version of yourself, to make sure that your happiness is coming from within, that you're providing that. You know what I mean? That way, when you meet somebody else, you can overflow, you can be a surplus to their life,
Yeah.
not drain them. You know what I mean? That's the only thing we control. We can only control what we can control.
Amen.
And so right now, what you can control is your diet. You control getting in shape. You control your mind. That's what you concentrate on. And eventually, life's not a destination; it's a journey. You know what I'm saying? So you're never gonna get to this magical place where everything is better. That just doesn't happen. But you will be able to look back and remember that, sometimes Ruben, these are the good old days. What we're going through right now, you'll be able to look back and I'm like, yeah, I remember when Mike had me on his podcast. That shit was crazy. Da 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 da. Why? Because these are the good old days. This is it right here.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're waiting for things to get amazing, to
Yeah.
get awesome. Things are gonna happen. No, no, no. This is it, man. And you know what? If you're present and you're here and you don't allow anxiety or depression to get the best of you, and you're here in the moment, you realize, this is it, man. This is what life's about. Friendships, helping, inspiring people, moving the crowd to work out, to do a little extra, to do a little more. Bro, that's your mark on this earth, That's your mark right there. You know what I mean? Don't take it lightly. I always say I don't mess with people that treat my dream like their hobby. You know what I mean? Because I do it because I always say this at the close of all my podcasts. They say the two most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you discover why. Right? And if you can find your why you were, why you're meant to be, why you were born, why what your
Yeah.
destiny is, I promise you, man, no day that goes by will feel like work. No day that goes by. You see, when we spoke right before this, right when we had our little talk, just me and I could talk for days. I could talk for days, and I learned that. I learned that I could talk about life. I could talk about love. I could talk about relationships. I could talk about these things for days, right? And it
Yeah.
never feels like work. So what did I decide to do? I decided to say, okay, cool. I'm going to follow my passion, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to people
Yeah. Yeah.
on a daily basis and check
Roger
in
that.
with them and see how they're doing, how they're feeling, what's going on, because I know that's fulfilling to me, you know. And that's the
Amen.
thing. Figure out what's fulfilling, what makes you happy, and go down that road and do it your best you can.
I'm trying my best, brother. I'm trying my best.
Like I
You know.
said, you keep moving. You're inspiring people. People are watching you, and yo, start keeping solid track. Start keeping a real good track about, hey, this is the many steps I took today. This is how many steps I took yesterday. This is how many tips, and show us the progress. And, you know, if you go up in a push up and you used to do 4 and now you're doing 7, yo, let the world know, hey, look, I'm improving every day. I'm
Yeah.
getting better. Look, I can walk from here to here now. I could walk an extra block. Look, this is happening. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you'll be surprised how many people are going to be invested in you.
Yeah. I thought I was doing that.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing that.
No, you are. I'm just saying, like, take
Yeah.
it to the next level. Take it to the next level and really, like, yo, make it your thing. You know what I'm saying? Right now,
Roger.
so I'll tell you what I see. I see you posting. I'm working out. I'm punching. You know what I'm saying? What I
Yeah.
want to see from you is I did I did 2.5 rounds today, and then the next day when you come back, today I'm going for 3 rounds. Like,
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
let
Yeah.
us know the 30 seconds that you
You want me to show the
always
the intensity changing the
right. Exactly.
when it,
Exactly.
because that's what it comes down to. It's when I could change intensities in my workouts, because I have to take it, to I have to work with what I'm working with until like I'm able to move forward. The one thing I will say is that I do know my body, and I know when I can go forward
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and take
You
it
know
up a
exactly.
notch.
Here's the thing: when you fail, let us know. Tell
Yeah,
us, hey man, I
yeah, yeah.
failed today, but you know what? I tried. I
Yeah,
worked
yeah,
at
that's
it.
true. You're
I did
right
my
about
thing.
that. You're right. Yeah, like I
That's what we
bucked
need.
up.
That's what we
Yeah,
want to know, man. We don't. It's not just about your what do you call it? It's not just about your
accomplishments,
successes, yeah, and accomplishments.
your
Sometimes it's
failures.
about
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what you failed.
Roger that. Roger that. I agree. I agree. Which is why I'm putting myself out there, man. I mean, I don't know what else I mean,
Huh?
I don't
Keep on,
know.
bro.
I mean, I don't know how more transparent a person can get, man.
Keep it up. But that's all I'm saying. Just keep it up. It's inspiring. It works. You're doing your damn thing, bro. Um,
You too, man.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. You
You
see me?
too, brother. Thumbs up, man.
I'm bringing out whoever I find fascinating and I enjoy. I'm bringing you on, man, because I want the world
This
to
has
see
been a blessing, man. This
what
has been
people are
great.
doing
I
and
mean,
how they're moving, man.
I'm so honored, man. I really appreciate this, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, bro.
No problem. And with that, we're gonna call it a wrap. But let me just close out with this. I'm gonna put you in the background, all right?
Roger that.
All right, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Eric Ruben Lozado. He's a guy from my hometown that's he's fought that good fight, man. He's fought that fight whether it's against depression, the wave of PTSD. He's been through a lot, man. Whether it's heartbreak, disappointments, traumas, he's done it, and it's a beautiful thing to see when somebody could turn around and look at this mountain of adversity and say, you know what, I'm going to continue to climb. Every day that passes, I'm going to take another step, whether it's a baby step or a giant step, but it's going to be a step in the right direction of becoming the man I want to be again. You know what I mean? I'm truly inspired. I know the people that I talk to are inspired by him. Check him out. He's on Facebook. He posts daily about his different accomplishments, and he's going to be keeping track. And maybe we could develop a community around him. You know what I mean? Where we all keep track. Maybe we all keep track of what we're doing daily, exercise wise, movement wise, diet wise. Maybe throw some tips down and be like, hey, this is what I tried today. It's been working for me for a week. And we could develop this community where we lean on each other, right? To get make these physical, mental, spiritual improvements, you know? Well, I'm gonna end this like this, ladies and gentlemen. I told you earlier, I said it's a Ruben, and it's this is what it is. Mark Twain says the most important day of our life, the two most important days of our life, are the day we're born and the day we discover why. I wanted to thank you for joining me tonight. I am Mr. Dropping Dimes, aka the Hopeful Romantic, aka the feminist with chauvinist tendencies. And we took a nice little journey down with a guy that's really been going through it, and a guy that's walking in his purpose and walking in his why, and really doing his best to become the best version of himself. So tonight, like with every night, I want to thank you all. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the Hopeful Romantic M.A.N podcast, for helping me walk in my why. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you. Goodbye.